Hey, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about brain. In the previous video, we looked at nervous system in general. We talked about central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The only thing that's left for this chapter is to talk about brain, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. Now, some interesting numbers. Average brain of an average age person with average height and weight weighs about 3 pounds, and with 100 billion neurons in it. And another interesting thing is when you take a cross section of the brain, you'll see white and the gray matter. The white matter is white because of the fatty myelin sheath around the axons of the myelinated neurons, while the gray matter is because of the non-myelinated axons or because of the cell bodies or somas of the neurons. So gray matter coming from cell body and the white matter coming from the myelinated axons of some neurons. Well, let's get back to the structure of the brain now. We will discuss about the structure of the brain, but not in detail. We'll only look at the structure as relevant to the functions that are important for the purpose of this class. If you look at brain, it's color coded for your convenience. All these images are downloaded from Google, and there are links available for these if you need. Brain is often divided into three structures. The red part you see is the hindbrain, the blue part is the midbrain, and the rest, which is coded here in yellow and green, represents the forebrain. The reason why it is named this way is the forebrain is in front, midbrain is in the middle, and the hindbrain is behind the midbrain. So you can imagine your head here, and this almost looks like your head. There's a front part of it, forehead, there's a back part of it, and this is underneath, just above the neck in the skull. So that's the structure of the brain. So we have hindbrain, midbrain, and forebrain. The forebrain is further categorized into this yellow structure, which is the outermost layer of the brain. It's called cerebrum or cerebral cortex, and there is a set of structures underneath and are together called subcortical structures. Sub because it is under the cortex, all these structures in general are referred to as subcortical structures. Most of these structures work in unison together to form a system called limbic system. So the cerebral cortex and the limbic system together constitute the forebrain. Let's start with the hindbrain, then we'll talk about the midbrain, then the forebrain. Now, the hindbrain is constituted by the structures called medulla oblongata. You see this? This is the base of the brain, and this medulla oblongata, it continues down as spinal cord. Then this circular structure you see, this is called the pons. This elevated round structure is the pons. And behind this pons, there is a single solid structure that goes behind the medulla and the pons, and this structure is called cerebellum. So there is medulla, on top of there is pons, and behind these two, there is one single structure that goes across horizontally. It's called cerebellum. What medulla does is it controls involuntary actions. If you remember the discussions from the other video about how most of the organs in our body, for example, heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, all the structures, they work independently, connected through autonomous nervous system, right? The functions of these organs that are not under our control are controlled by medulla. And coming to the pons, it plays a vital role in regulating our sleep cycle. And also the sensory information through these spinal cord fibers actually goes through this medulla oblongata and pons is sent to forebrain by going through another structure in between the midbrain and thalamus. We'll talk about that in a second. In the pons and medulla, there is a crisscross of fibers, sensory fibers, carrying information from all but one sense organ. Eventually, that information is brought to the thalamus. Coming to cerebellum, cerebellum is the structure that regulates fine coordinated movements like your balance, coordinated movements, like you're trying to catch a ball. Can you think of temporary situation where you experience this? Well, that's because the cerebellum is the one usually affected in those circumstances. Can you think of any situation? Yeah, you're right. Friday nights, you know what I'm talking about. The cerebellum is responsible to maintain the balance and coordination, and that's what gets involved whenever brings. Okay, I'll stop here, and I want you to make sure you understand what we have discussed so far. Then there will be a small video that outlines the structure of the hindbrain and live brain. I mean, the brain of a person. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.